A note on positive psychology in this particular case here, what uh, we tried, found, implement, or look for here, um, what works, what doesn't. For instance, if he came here to give me an example, this both works and represents a challenge. Yes, it's good to have a pet, a dog in particular. David Eggers argues in his A Short Guide to a Long Life, and others indeed, that having a dog obliges people who would be tempted not to exercise, obliges them to exercise. He has to be taken out twice a day, at least. And indeed, I know I'm thinking now of someone who has a dog but just taught him to, a male, to use the bathroom, to do his business, so to say, near in the bathroom somewhere. It doesn't matter, but that's an extreme case, and I think it's the exception that proves the rule. The exception to the rule, not that proves the rule, but it's the exception. An exception doesn't prove the rule; it's just an exception. So that's one side of the coin. The other is that now he came because he's inviting me to offer him another time out, that is to go a little out. It's also true in terms of habits, rituals. That's a good ritual, to go out all the time, and you have to do that New Year's Eve, Christmas, whenever, each day, every day. That's good. Unless, of course, there are some people who do this anyway. They don't need a pet or a dog to go out. They go out and run and jog on their own, and not when they're required. We can refer to the joke of Seinfeld, that if people from other planets look here and they see pet dog owners being dragged quite often with a leash and so on, and having to collect the feces, they might presume that these are the masters and these are the slaves, and that's the downside. Sometimes it feels like there's a lot to do for a pet, especially if it's a spoiled one like this one, who, if he doesn't like something and he wants to press you, starts whining. Anyway, to continue from this, I was reading earlier about Denmark, and they offer other formulas there, which are sometimes counterintuitive, paradoxical even. I was thinking about what they said in this short video, about 20 minutes or so, on happiness, that for instance they have this way of not talking to each other unless it is really necessary, and generally avoiding it, not at all costs, but as much as possible. They were giving this example that in a bus, when someone is getting off at the next station, he will avoid as much as possible to say, please, can you make some way for me? I'm getting off at the next bus station. But will start to rattle the bag and make noises and gestures, and with his attitude say what he doesn't want to say in words, which I thought that's odd, and that in fact will point in the other direction. You would say a nation with people that are so antisocial, sounds like, would be among the least happy in the world. But then it's not the case. They have strong family ties and network of friends, because that's the main thing. The happiest people have this strong family ties and good friendships in their favor. And it's not money that comes out first when you look for answers, reasons why someone would be happy. The other element which was in favor there in Denmark, and it is also a reason for happiness here, I would say, is the low level of crime. When there is a stabbing, it makes for the front page, they were saying. As opposed to, I don't know, I think Honduras is one of the most violent places in the world, and definitely Caracas in Venezuela, because the one reason being this crisis they have there, famine actually in some ways in some places due to the stupid socialism and bad leadership. In this case, bad government is one adversity factor. In Denmark they have excellent government. It goes as far as I watched in a documentary, another film, as to have ministers share a car at times. Here, one is under investigation because even if he was not entitled, he was just one minister, he used something like a small motorcade in a country which is much poorer than Denmark. So bad governance, that works against or diminishes the happiness level here. Plus, standard of living and the fact that the country is not really anywhere near Denmark. In fact, we have problem with infrastructure, with roads, with cleanliness in parts because of lack of resources and so much more. That again affects. But we have to be grateful for what we have. And if we compare, we should try and not compare with Denmark, have that as a role model, but think of Syria, South Sudan, and so many other places.